The quality of self-awareness, does that come from the soul or the spirit body?
When we first arrive on Earth, in other words, when we're first conceived, we have no self-awareness. And then it's a quality that we develop naturally through experience. Does that make sense? So we're not gifted with the quality, we're gifted with the potential of the quality. So what God's done with many of our qualities of the soul, of which self-awareness is one, we're gifted with the potential of learning it, but not with the quality itself. So another example of that is morals, like what is right and wrong. We're gifted with the potential of learning what is right and wrong, but not with the sensitivity to what is right and wrong. We've got to learn it. So there's a whole list of qualities you could say from your soul, and this is very important for tomorrow's discussion, that you can develop. But then there's a whole heap of things that are gifted to the soul right from the beginning. And some of those things are its senses, such as seeing, hearing, tasting, touching. These senses are present in the body right from, and the soul too, by the way, and each body, and each. Remember, I said every time you go to a new body, you get a greater experience of it. So here, our physical sense of touch, when you compare it to what it is in the spirit world, the spirit the spirit body is so much more sensitive to touch than the physical body is, and so and the soul is even more sensitive, again, to touch, to feeling things from its environment. So there are qualities that you could say are instinctual or instinct, of which these senses are see, hearing, tasting. You've still got to develop them, because out of speaking, out of seeing and hearing, you get language, don't you? If you couldn't hear anything, there would be probably, how would you formulate your words to structure a language? So you can see that some of these senses are necessary in order for you to structure language and other actions, but they are still instinctual in the sense that they were gifted to you from the beginning, and you're basically just learning how to use them. And then there's other things that you must develop, which the potential of it is in you to learn it, but you may not learn it. So qualities that you need to develop are very, very different from the qualities that are instinctual to the soul. Follow me so far? Yep. So you can see that with the instinctual qualities, you can also see that some are related to like the soul's, you could say its immense abilities, but a subset of it for each body. So for example, the soul has a sense to see, it can actually see anything below the 36th sphere or the 36th dimension of the spirit world in every dimension under the 36. So in terms of mathematics, I think they have got supercomputers on Earth now that can calculate things up to the 13th dimension or something like that. So we're talking like another 23 dimensions on top of that, which is what the soul is experiencing. The soul can mathematically handle that, can mathematically handle the computations involved in that. And a lot of those things are actually instinctual to the soul. And so the soul has these immense abilities, instinctual abilities, but also a number of abilities that must grow over time, that must be developed. And the most important qualities that are to be developed are the ones that are spiritual, what I'd classify as spiritual. And these include things like truth, moral development, love, development in compassion and understanding and kindness, humility, development in your ability to experience and your freedom to experience and understanding your perspective in the world, And things like faith, which is a very, very important quality actually of the soul, which allows you to perceive the future and aim for a future even though you've never seen it. These qualities are developed qualities. They're not gifted to you from the beginning. The potential of them is gifted to you. Now, on top of that, so these are sort of perfect natural human qualities, but then on top of that, there was this additional function given to your soul, two functions given to your soul. The first one is the function of the conscience, which is the ability of your soul to connect to God's soul to receive truth. In other words, to be able to determine what is right and wrong, right? That's the ability of the conscience. And then there's another potential given to the soul, which God can open and close. And that is the ability to receive God's love. Now, we'll call that the ability to connect to what's called the Holy Spirit, which I called the Holy Spirit in the first century. It's a connector that is in your soul that allows God's soul to transmit not only love but other qualities of God to your soul so that your soul can receive them. So the conscience is the ability for God to share truth with you, and the Holy Spirit is the conduit via which God is providing the ability to receive other things from God to you, of which the very first thing is love. God's love, not your own, God's. Right? Now, these things, while they are potentials in you, they must be developed. And both of these things, your interactions with God, are going to need to be developed if you want to have a relationship with God. Right? And so obviously there are things that we want to, in the future, talk more about, because they will enable you to actually receive, firstly, information from God, but more importantly, receive substances from God, such as love. Love is actually, comes via the Holy Spirit, is actually a substance that exists in God's soul that God has given you for the period of time since my arrival in the first century to now, has given you the ability to receive it into your soul. Right? And God, you must understand too, that conscience, while it's a gift God has given you, it's a gift God has given everyone without you asking for it. Just like he gave you an earth to live on. You didn't ask for it, but he gave it to you. You know? So there's other things that he's done for you. He gave you the sense of sight. You didn't ask for it, but he gave it to you. He gave you the sense of hearing. All the senses fall into this category. They're all gifts that God gave to us, but we didn't ask for them. Now, he gave us a sense of taste. Imagine if he didn't give that. Everything would taste maybe like a potato. Now, potatoes are not bad because I personally like them quite a lot. But if you're eating them every day for your entire life, but he could have, couldn't he? He could have said, right, potato, I put all the vitamins and minerals and everything else that you need to survive in one fruit or one fruit of the earth, right? I give you that and that's what you eat. And the only plant on earth is a potato. That's it. He could have done that, couldn't he? Like, pretty basic and fundamental that would have been, but he could have done it. He could have given you a potato and said, that's your life, man. And I'm sure after you've had a few thousand of them in a row, you'd be quite disappointed with that, maybe. But he could have done that, but he didn't. He gave you variety because he knows what brings joy. He created taste to bring you joy, and then he created a whole heap of things like fruits, vegetables and other things to give you the variety of experience for that joy to continue. Is that, you see? So he created the taste buds, the mechanism of taste actually exists in the soul, and he created that so you can experience the joy of different tastes, and then he not only did that, but he also created the variety of fruits and vegetables and other things that we can enjoy so that your taste buds go, I love that. You know, like, so if you see me eat, many of you might be a bit shocked at how I eat, because it's not... But as Mary knows, I'm pretty expressive when I eat, because I love what the tastes are. And isn't it, it brings you joy in life, doesn't it? The taste of things. Now, if God created no taste buds, then even if he didn't create all potatoes for you to eat, you'd still taste it,
like
and you think,
potatoes.
and they will taste like potatoes. So, because it'd be maybe not even any taste. Imagine that. What would drive you to eat if there was no taste? Yeah, well, hunger. But let's say he didn't give you the sense of hunger. You'd have to time yourself when you go, midday, time to eat. 6 o'clock, time to eat. It'd be pretty complicated, I think. Majority of us would probably not eat because there's nothing driving us to. There's no sense driving us to. And so what would you do? It's interesting when you contemplate the life of an animal, really, isn't it? Because there must be taste they like. So he even created taste buds for them for that purpose, to drive them to eat. So if you're an elephant in Africa and you see a certain fruit on a tree, you go, you know, like, that's what I have to eat. Because if he didn't do that, why would they eat? There'd be no physiological function driving to them, you see. So God created these things to drive us to do things, to have experience. Now, not only did he do that for our animal body, but he connected those senses to the soul so that you could enjoy and have some level of self-awareness about the issue as well. So unlike an animal, we can assess it. We can talk about it like we're doing now. Feel about how beautiful it is. See, an animal, when the elephant's eating, say, a mango, he's not going, oh, how beautiful is this? Now, his taste buds are and signalling to his brain that he likes it, but he can't assess it. There's no self-awareness there. He can't measure it. There's no way of him now making, like, all he knows is looking like that, tastes good, but he does not even assessing it from that point of view. He's just sensorily assessing it and doing it because it in the moment. And it also is interesting with animals too when you watch them, isn't it? Because if there's a tree of mangoes, he'll eat the whole thing. He won't save one for tomorrow. You know? See, humans can assess things and go, if I eat the whole thing today, there'll be none tomorrow, but I would like one tomorrow. So I'll save one for tomorrow, right? A human is that self-aware. An animal is not that self-aware. In our home, we have, lots of animals, kangaroos, possums, koalas, sugar gliders, birds. Whenever there's a fruit or something available to them, it's just gone within... and also with us, we can go, here's a whole mango, let's eat the whole mango. See, with an animal, they'll eat a little bit of that one, 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 to their own detriment, because they end up spoiling all of them and then they all go rotten and they don't want to eat them anymore. But as humans, we know, because we've got self-awareness, you see, we can go, if I do that, I'm wasting them. I've got a measure of economy in me, which is another developed quality. But also, initially, there's a link there with my senses where I can go, if I do that, I won't have any for tomorrow. So I want some for tomorrow, so I shouldn't do that. I should save some. Yeah? That's not an animal thing to do. That's driven by some level of self-awareness. So there's all these areas of life where there are instinctual patterns that drive some of our behaviour or some of our facilities that exist in our soul, but also in our two bodies.
The faculties, you mean?
Sorry?
Faculty.
Faculties, you could say, they're faculties. They're instinctual in their nature in the sense that they operate without our governance, seemingly governance, you know. There are obviously things that control their operations, but the majority of us are not saying, turn on my eyes, turn off my eyes, turn on my eyes, turn off my eyes, or turn on my ear, turn off my ear, that kind of thing. We do, and many of you do detune out of things, right, don't you? You notice yourself doing that. Like when there's a heavy noise, you can go on for an hour or two and you find yourself almost hardly even hearing it. It's like when you go to Barbados, if you ever do, you'll find the crickets there are so loud you can hardly hear yourself talk, right? That's how loud they are. And you find yourself after 3 or 4 days talking away, and there's all this racket around you, and like you're still talking. When I first went there, I was going, "What did you say? What did you say?" Like they're so loud. It's like somebody talking at the top of their voice, and yet after a few days, you zone that out. You're able to tune these things, these senses in and out, right, quite easily. That's a function of the bodies and their abilities to zone into things, tune out of things. But when it comes to the qualities that we need to develop, by the way, you can also tune out of those and tune into those. When it comes to those qualities, these qualities are more spiritual in nature in the sense that they're a way, they influence the things you think about. They influence the things you feel about. They influence the decisions of what you make of who to love and why you love them and how you love them and things like that. These are qualities that need to grow over time, but they begin in a very undeveloped state and only with the potential. That make sense?